major problem for me, and I don't know about Chris, and I'm sure this applies with Chris and Mark and Travis and everybody, is we're good friends with Chris, and we don't want to let Chris down. So we want to do the best that we can, if not better. And then, so the hardest thing was we were always improving ourselves, and not just individuals, but as a team. You would pick on each other's work and make it better. But with the car, the better it got, the more faults you would find. So we were always going back and redoing something and fixing something and making it better, and and just little things. It was just the smallest things become the challenge. You would get everything looking beautiful. We had all the grill in, then we noticed there's just two little bars behind the grill that weren't quite right. So we pull all the front back out again and redo that, and then put it all back in. So the hardest thing I found was just getting that level of perfection, just constantly chasing each piece, because the whole car gets broken down into every individual piece, and then that piece gets broken down into small sections. So like with the bonnet, you're not looking at a whole bonnet. You're just looking at about 100 mil square of that bonnet constantly, and making sure that every piece of that is perfect. So that was, to me, the hardest part was getting everything at the level that Chris expected or wanted.
Certainly takes a lot of discipline, and you go to car shows and that, and you see a lot of cars that are 98% awesome, but you can see where people have either got tired or worn out with the build, and some of the finer details just aren't finished off right. And they're the 1%ers. If you stand 10 feet from the car, you don't notice them. When you stand 10 inches from the car, that's when they stand out. And that's what the judges do when they look at cars like this. They get right up close and they're looking for faults.
The problem with a car of this calibre is people look at it as and to appreciate it, but they also look at it to find faults, whether that's a judge or just the general public. So we have to find every fault, and we have to address every fault. Most cars, you can sort of let things slide. They'll go away, or someone might not see it. But with this car, even the things you cannot see are perfect. Like the panels underneath, they're perfect inside and outside. So the whole car has to be perfect. So the team gets together, and you leave your ego at the door, and we don't be nasty about it, but we just find each other's faults and we improve on them.
So which side first? Your side, the high side first?
Both go together.
All right. Out wide. Lift it up. Now the stand should slide off the base, so the top piece should separate away from the bottom. No? You keep coming, Greg. You're right, Greg. The valve goes right to the top. I get it stay straight. Yeah, the valve. An up, hey, Chris, or?
Yeah, you can just
No, not. Hang on, mate. I'm just gonna. That's it. Right, slowly. Is that moving?
Actually,
just a cardboard box that we made look like it. Serious?
The Americans' reaction was just amazing. Once they got over the whole left-hand drive versus right-hand drive thing, they had trouble getting their head around that.
Yeah.
Because there isn't really a world that exists outside America to a lot of Americans. So, but once they got past that, one of the really pleasing things for myself was that the car was so popular there. They didn't know what it was, but they liked it, and I reckon that was really cool because it's easy to like, and if you like your Camaros or you like your Cudas or something like that, it's easy to go, oh, I like that sort of car, so you're drawn to that. They didn't know what this was, but they were still drawn to it. So I think that says a lot about the way the car is designed and executed. When you start off with a Falcon Coupe, they're such a good-looking car anyway, so it's easy to get it wrong or easy to make a good-looking car ugly. I like to think that what we've done is that we've modernised it and refined it. We've changed the look of the car, but it's still very much recognisable as an XB Falcon. The whole front of the car is wider and higher. It looks like the roof's chopped, but it's not. But we've just changed the proportions slightly, so I think it's better balanced.
First and only car in Australia that have one. That's great. Yeah. Well, it won't be done. I mean, it won't be done. So that's all it takes.
Slipstreaming each other down the straight as the big Ford is roaring away. Here comes Richard down into the braking area now. This is where the big Ford really shines. He brakes hard.